The Malfoy family are a pretty important family in the Harry Potter series. They're also portrayed as a bit of the bad guy side. They actually first joined the Death Eaters as volunteers, but soon started getting forced to work for Lord Voldemort. In this video, I'll be covering up on the Malfoy family, and the history and family tree of them as well. If you have any additional information, questions, or any other suggestions, then please put it down in the comments below. The first known Malfoy was Armand Malfoy. He had a big ambition for getting in hold of power and wealth. He was very like how most Malfoys we know today are. He was very street smart and would always be in places which would benefit him and give chances of obtaining money or power. He also served a Muggle king for a long time, and that king gave him a piece of land which held a house of Malfoy Manor, which would be the home of the Malfoy for century after century after century, and even used for Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter series today. The Malfoys were always known of people that despised Muggles and Muggleborns, or how they would call them mudbloods. But what you didn't know was that before the Statute of Secrecy, which was a law placed upon wizards and witches that states that they can't go and converse with Muggles, they used to actually beat Muggles, which is why the Malfoys are super wealthy today. This was the reason they were able to expand their land and home a great deal by using Muggle currency. Another reason they were easily expanding their land was their connection to other wealthy and royal blood. As I said, they had connected with Muggle kings to bring themselves so much money. They only stayed and connected with the most recent and wealthy Muggles, like kings and other rich people. They had no interest whatsoever to be with the lower standard of Muggles. Another Malfoy, who was the first Lucius Malfoy, actually went after Queen Elizabeth to gain power and wealth, but was unsuccessful. This made Lucius angry and applied a jinx upon the queen. Once the Statute of Secrecy was applied on all witches and wizards, the Malfoy family actually despised of this idea because they had already had so many connections with rich Muggles and were about to go against the new law when they stopped because they realized if they did this, it would hurt their relation with the other wizards and witches. So stopped opposing the law and went the complete other direction by trying to connect with wealthy witches and wizards who were part of the newly constructed Ministry of Magic. The Malfoys would often not do any work but would be behind the scene and take credit, wealth, and money while giving responsibilities of failures and losses to others, which made them even more wealthy. After some time, the Malfoys too started despising and hating the Muggles and Muggleborns. They would claim that they were 100% purebloods and with zero Muggles in their family line. They actually had many half-bloods in their family, though they would deny it and ignore it. A Malfoy named Septimus Malfoy was actually very manipulative, like the rest of his family, and made the Ministry of Magic at one point in time listen to every order of his, which often brought him wealth and more power. Nicholas Malfoy was another cruel Malfoy who killed several Muggles but covered himself by saying it was all due to the Black Death, which was a major plague. He was also never punished or sent to prison for it. There was also Abraxas Malfoy, who is a part of the idea to throw away the Muggle-born Minister of Magic, who has succeeded and got him to retire by a forceful threat. Abraxas Malfoy's son was actually Lucius Malfoy II, whose son was Draco, whose son was Scorpius. The name Malfoy is from French, which translates bad faith. Armand Malfoy also arrived in Britain and fought alongside William the Conqueror, which is why he was awarded for his almost certainly magical ability by a massive house in Wiltshire, as I said before. Lucius Malfoy was able to convince a majority people to not be sent to prison, even for being a Death Eater. Firstly, he said that he was under the Imperius Curse, which was a common excuse for lots of Death Eaters. Secondly, he snitched on names of a lot of Death Eaters and escaped his punishment of his crime. Also, a lot of the dark and twisted objects and artifacts were hidden by the Malfoys by putting them down in the cellar in a secret spot. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please make sure you guys subscribe, hit the bell to turn on notifications, like this video, comment, share, and do all these things to support the channel. And until next time, see ya.